So
I was still
yeah,
getting over losing to Bub Carrington.
so so be able to to be able to come back from all those things and win is cool. Oh no, damn Heat.
Not the bit.
I mean, okay,
Game bum.
my game bum. I don't know whether it's a great shot or a bad shot that a guy makes a left-handed layup that looked like it went off the shot clock.
You got the call from Jax yesterday? Can I hear
It
that?
was he just launched it.
I couldn't believe it. And yet I could believe it. It was almost like
The season ending this way was because we experienced it all year.
it was chef's kiss. It was like that's the perfect way for the season to end. Is like legitimately you are up 4 and somehow lose a game. You give up a 3 and then
Backcourt.
involves to a backcourt violation. And I'm just like, whew.
And at that point, I'm like, they're gonna lose this game.
Mario says my game bum is Terry Rozier. Dude, he was so bad yesterday.
Really?
Like, he was so bad yesterday, Leroy. He actually like kind of quit at a certain point. Like he threw stuff off the backboard. He's fallen all over the place. And at one point, he's just like, even he was like, I'm done shooting. I think he was even exhausted with himself. He was so bad. The only bucket that he made was like a fast break layup where nobody was around him. And even that one I had questions about. I think he finished like, dude, he was like 1 of 9. He was terrible yesterday.
I've seen it weird because I look at the Heat and I look at other teams. And there's very few teams that I would expect to make more 3-pointers than them. And they had like 6 more free throws than us. I mean, 3-pointers, 6 more, which is unheard of because that normally doesn't happen to the Heat unless you're playing somebody who's they volume shoot the 3.
It was good. You got the final call from yesterday? This was Jason Jackson on the Miami Heat audio experience.
4.4 to go. Washington ball. The inbound with the Heat up 1. Finally in. Carrington has it. The drive. Puts it up at the end. It goes in. How about that? And the Washington bench clears. Pure joy on the Heat hardware.
Yeah, they dogpiled him on the right under the Heat's rim. And everybody from the Heat just like walk off. See Chris Quinn just like waving to the coaches over there. All right, guys, see ya. Because there really was no stakes to the game. Honestly, the only benefit to it would have been loss, and I think the Suns. I forget what I think. Whatever the Suns lost yesterday. If the Suns won, the Heat would have moved up to a 10th slot in the lottery. That was like the only ramifications of yesterday's game.
Yes, indeed. They did lose behind yet another double-double from Sabonis and the Kings.
Yeah, good for them.
Toppled the Suns. So that means we're 10th now?
No, we're 11th.
Damn it.
If the Suns would have won that game, I think the Heat would have moved up to 10th, which then has to go to the lottery, and then we can determine whether or not the Miami Heat are going to have their pick.
So they're not even in the lottery.
They're in the lottery, but we don't know where their pick is yet. Right now, it's slotted at 11th. That's where they're slotted at. Where they're most likely will end up is at 11th, but they can move up anywhere. They could move. I think they got a 2% chance at number 1. I think they got like a 9% chance or something like that at a top 4, and they could move back if a team behind them jumps them in the lottery. But I think the lowest they could go is 14th. If they make the playoffs, though. If they win 2 play-in games, that pick goes to OKC. They don't get it.
Oh, my goodness. Even when we win, we lose.
If we make the playoffs. But then that's paid off, and you don't have to worry about the OKC pick anymore, and you still will probably end up with the Warriors pick. Unless by some chance the Warriors lose 2 play-in games, they end up in the lottery, and their pick goes top 10. If they can somehow jump into the top 10, and really I think they can only go to top 4, I think is the way that it goes. If by somehow the ping pong balls go their way and they end up in the top 4, top 10, it's top 10 protected, then Miami, it carries over. So there is a shot that Miami ends up with no picks, but it's a very, very little shot that happens.
Really? Based on how this year has gone?
Who knows? Who knows? Yes, based on how this way has gone, this year has gone.
And you want me to give you one even worse? The team that they have to give their pick to ends up winning the lottery, the ping pong balls. That's how this season should end.
Whose?
So the Heat have to give their pick to
only if they make the playoffs. So basically, if
I'm telling you, they're gonna say they make the playoffs.
Okay, if they make the playoffs, there's no that team winning the lottery. If they make the playoffs, whatever they're going to be slated at, that'll be that'll be that pick goes to OKC. They don't get to go.
That's not that won't be in the top. Who does the
lottery? Lottery protected.
Top
14, I think.
14. Okay.
So that's not going to happen.
Okay, right.
But
so to win 2 games, to go play the Cavs,
they got to play. They got to beat Chicago.
Would cost you picks.
It would cost you a pick, but if you do keep your pick this year, next year's unprotected. So in the case that you're talking about, that could end up happening next year if the Heat is bad next year and they end up in the lottery. The Heat, it's all out there for them. They could end up giving up the number 1 pick to OKC next year. Should the Heat be terrible next year, let's just say it all falls apart. Now, I'd imagine if the Heat's going to have their pick out there next year, they'll probably push more all in for next year because they don't want to be in that situation.
Right.
But they're with less of a safety net if they have their pick this year. But also, you're in the lottery. You go get Cooper Flag, baby.
Dude,
go get him.
Stop it.
Go get him.
Chances are what? 2%?
2%.
Right. 2%. You like those odds?
I don't hate those odds. Not nothing.
Okay, but you're closer to nothing than you
are. But it's not nothing.
You're closer to nothing than you are to Cooper Flag.
We got to talk about the real issue here going into this week, and that is
Easter.
What? I mean, yeah, it is Holy Week. And speaking of holes, Warriors look like they're leaking oil.
Like what?
They're leaking oil, Leroy. Look like they're leaking oil. We'll take a break. Get into it on the other side. Back after this. Let's get to 15 minutes of heat here. Brought to us by our friends over at Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the number 1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them online at hollywoodkia.com. Miami Heat, they lose yesterday. 119-118. Bub Carrington hit a buzzer beater. That in spite of Jaime Jaquez Jr., which we have not mentioned. He balled out yesterday. 41 points yesterday for old Triple J in a game that I was sneaky excited about because I wanted to see Keyshawn Johnson. And he did not disappoint, by the way.
Very athletic.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
Had the and one to tie the game. I thought he killed that guy. Ran him over.
That was one of those where I was like, why isn't he bouncing it? Pass the ball. Oh!
Yeah. I like Keyshawn Johnson a lot. I'm looking forward to his development with the Miami Heat. Big fan of KJ. They call him Showtime.
Oh.
Very, very excited. Also, Khalil Ware did cool things.
Oh, did he?
He did cool things, cool dunks.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Didn't he hit his head on the backboard?
He's tall.
Yeah.
He's tall.
That was great.
Now, speaking of Khalil Ware, we may not have to root for one of his enemies, Ja Morant, who referred to him as a pigeon.
That's right.
But I'm allowed, I am willing, Ja, to allow bygones to be bygones. Should you send the Warriors to the next play-in game? Because I think to me, I feel like the Warriors leaking oil a little bit here at the end. They lose yesterday to the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard has shown up all of a sudden. He always kicks Jimmy Butler's ass. And yesterday, he kicked him right in the thigh. And Jimmy Butler, he was hobbling.
Wow.
And I know Jimmy Butler enough to know that's at least a 10-dayer.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 10-dayer. Now, maybe he'll play, but he ain't going to be right.
Nope. Isn't that a tradition? Like
So question: if this keeps happening every year, at what point is he an injury prone and you can't rely on him being there?
I mean, he is injury prone. He is injury prone. There's no denying that Jimmy Butler is injury prone.
So, and I say that to, if anybody in the Heat organization think that, then can you understand why they let him move them?
I mean, that was kind of the whole point of why they didn't want to do it, was it not? Like he gets injured. He plays a physical game. The concerns of the Heat of him wearing down, they're legitimate concerns. I mean,
so that's why you do it earlier. You do it sooner than later.
Well, that would put to why didn't you do it before the drama? I think the Heat's big mistake and everybody's criticism of it would be like, you guys really thought that he wasn't going to be.
Yes, because he said it. Because he said it.
It's like trusting a cobra not to bite you.
But again, I can understand. You believed him.
I mean, he gave me a wink.
See, but it's okay. You can believe him, but nobody else can.
Pat's not allowed to get got. He's Pat Riley.
I would say I got too, because I believed him.
I really believed him when him and Tyler were hobnobbing after that game.
Who's 1A, 1B?
Who's 1B? You. I love you. Oh, never mind, Tyler. Buddy Hield's my best friend now. Sorry. See ya.
That did hurt. That did.
Man, you see Draymond Green blow that layup yesterday?
He was like so easily trying to like draw the foul with his butt.
They were like, this is going to be a thing. Like, look, all I was making the point is right now, like the whole thing that the Heat with this beef, you just had to sit. You got to sit there and wait on the sideline. Sometimes the best thing to say is to say nothing at all and just let it happen.
Wait a minute.
We're sitting at this point where they were trying to win a petty war when the Warriors wouldn't stop winning. Stupid. You're not going to win that war. You got to wait for the wheels to fall off, because the only way you lose is if he wins. But if he doesn't win, then you win.
So when this all happened, you were sold that Jimmy was going to help, that he was going to do something that he didn't do here. You were sold on that. And you say it was going to be a terrible day because Jimmy's going to go somewhere else and win. And I would be like, if he was to go somewhere else and ball out and play, should you be more upset or cheated because he didn't do it here?
Here's what happened, Leroy. Something happened the night that he came here. And it's almost like when the guilt becomes too overwhelming. He didn't have the shield of ignorance anymore. His lies were exposed.
Right.
He couldn't sit out here in the lights being like, I did nothing wrong. And so he ran off, didn't say hi to anybody, didn't talk to anybody, didn't hobnob with anybody. Hasn't been the same since. The team hasn't been the same since. Now, some of you may say, well, Steph Curry's been banged up. Maybe. I don't know. Hard to say. The old get injured.
Which is what Dude, it's amazing. And where we are now talking about this topic and where we were at the beginning, when you told everybody go to hell, I would pay him.
Yeah.
Right? So is it safe to say you were wrong?
No, I won't go that far. I mean, like, you guys just lost more games than you ever had. Longest losing streak of Eric Spoelstra's career. So I can't be wrong.
Wait. My question to you is, you're making it sound like if they had Jimmy, it would have been better. It actually would have been worse because they would have kept throwing him out there to shoot one-legged threes.
Well, I don't know. Hard to say.
No, it's not hard to say. He had already started that pattern.
Maybe. We can't.
You know what Jimmy looks like when he's engaged. Wait, you know within the first 5 minutes of a game what Jimmy looks like when he's engaged.
It's neither here. Like, they've kept saying this whole thing about clarity. Like, Spose keeps saying this thing about, oh, clarity's a good thing for us. And it really wasn't, because they got worse after they had clarity. Like, never played that bad in the history of him coaching.
And the other thing is that the injuries just were replaced by a different name.
Andrew Wiggins.
I don't know what it is about everybody on the Heat getting hurt every year.
But right now, task at hand. And that is, let's go, Ja. Let's go, Ja.
So are there games? The games start Tuesday?
Tomorrow, yeah.
You're doing the John Morant.
Yeah.
So we doing the John. You doing the John Morant.
Leroy, if John Morant's able to send him to the next playing game, and they're only setting up a setup with let me tell you something. Those Thunder, that's top hats and monocles for the Warriors.
You know what's crazy about this whole thing is that when you look at how all this is played out, if I'm in the playing in the West, I'm not as worried than if I'm in the playing in the East. Because there's 5, 6, 7 teams that were within 2 games of each other.
No. If they end up with the Rockets, I agree with you. If it's a 2-7, fine. You end up with OKC. That's true.
No, I understand that, but the point I'm making is this: that all of the records are so close from 5 to 10, right? That you could lose to anybody, right? Nobody's like looking at the Eastern Conference play-in going, we got them.
Yeah,
right?
No one's thinking that.
Nobody. But in the West, because all these teams were so close all year, there has to be a record number of teams that have won 45, 50 games.
Most 50-game teams in one conference? I don't know. Maybe.
Like, it's crazy.
5 50-win teams.
Right. Think about that. That's crazy.
Tough.
So, and one of the 50 winning teams, 50-game winning teams, is on the road.
Yeah, but you want to know something?
When does that happen?
You want to know something?
What?
48 and 68, dude. And that's what the OKC Thunder have won.
No, I know. But I'm just saying that from the standpoint of their play-in and how competitive that play-in is, because the difference between being 5th and being 10th or being 8th or 7th was the fact that it wasn't that big of a difference. And if I redid it a week ago, it could be 4 other teams in the play-in. Huh?
Steph Curry winless in the play-in, I believe.
Yes, the Warriors are either 0-2 or 0-3, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe they're 0-3.
Yeah. Losers.
Bunch of pigeons.
I will say this. It's not looking good for Jimmy. Because they paid him a lot of money and he about to do Jimmy things. Like, the way it looks, he'll be down here for Formula One. When is that? Next couple of weeks?
I think
or
so.
Is it May?
I don't know. But he could be here for Formula One, or he could be out there hanging with Neymar.
Yep.
Gonzalez says Jimmy got paid. He don't care.
Pretty much.
He's good. I mean, listen, he got, and that's kind of the whole point of what he was doing, was to get to that extra.
But but people said when he got his money, it's going to be playoff Jimmy. Mm-hmm. And what I say is he reached in his pocket to pull out playoff Jimmy and got an injury and a playoff gummy.
Now he's playing Jimmy now.
Playing Jimmy.
He's playing.
But I'm saying people made a lot of assumptions of what Jimmy was going to look like at this age.
Well, there's been a lot of cockiness from that Steve Kerr, that charlatan out here. And by the way, just see him ruin Kuminga's confidence. Benched him.
Not good.
Oh, it doesn't work with Kuminga and Jimmy and Draymond, and you can't play with those guys. Oh, yeah, that's it.
I have the answer to the question Leroy asked earlier. By the
Most 50-win teams in a conference?
Yes, this season we have 9 50-win teams if you include both conferences. Because I'm including both. The last time this happened was 2014, 2015, in which we had 10. That's happened a couple times. So has 11. The record for most 50-win teams in both conferences, 2009, 2010, when we had 12.
Wow.
That was a good year.
Not for the Heat, it wasn't.
Really
what year was that?
2009, 2010.
Yeah. That was a good
year. Was that Bron's first year?
No. That was his last year in Cleveland.
Okay. So he came the next year. Okay.
Yeah, they went to the championship that year against the Spurs. And
He went to 9 straight finals. Like, we just overlooked that.
He's good.
He better not lose.
I would say this. Has there been any human being that has played more basketball than him with all the finals and long runs into playoffs that he's made?
I mean,
It's
I would
crazy.
imagine the math says no. But I'll tell you one thing. Don't lose to the Wolves.
Who, the Lakers?
Yeah. Don't lose to the Wolves.
Lose to the Wolves.
Don't dismiss it.
I'm not dismissing it, but Ant might average 35 and they still don't have a chance.
I don't. They've been pretty hot lately, dude.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about. I mean, you keep talking like there's this vast difference. We just told you all of those teams. You just said all those teams are the same.
I know. No, I said from 4 to 10.
Leroy, 3 and 6. There's a difference of 1 game. They were separated by a game.
But you're right. There's more. So why can't that happen for any of the other teams? Only the Lakers.
What do you mean?
Like, is it safe to say the West is more wide open than the East because of that?
I don't think it is wide open because I think the Thunder are going to the finals. But
okay. You don't believe in that experience thing?
They do have experience. I mean, they went to the semis last year. I think they can take another step. Like, I don't think that's a vast reach for them.
I'm just.
They don't really have a weakness.
No, and they're giants.
Like, if I was going to say the experience thing, Houston's the team I would say is the young team. Like, if I said that's why it's so important for the Warriors to win. You want to go up against the baby Rockets, even though Amen Thompson, the last time he faced Steph Curry, made him look like Korkmaz.
Puts the baby in the blanket.
And then the Heat. I mean, somehow got to stop this Buzelis.
Oh my goodness, really? I'm like, no lie, the Miami Heat make guys famous that I never even realized were on other teams.
A lot of intangibles on that Bulls team.
Oh yeah,
intangibles. Gotta slow them down. And Kobe White.
Do we though, or can we just put ourselves out of our misery?
Like you want it over?
He just wanted to be over. He basically what Marcos is saying is he's tired of.
I'm tired.
His emotional strings getting pulled and ripped out and on a game-to-game basis by this team.
You know what's the worst thing to ever happen to this Miami Heat franchise?
What?
Making it to the championship from the 8th seed play-in.
What?
Because we didn't win, and that would justify every year.
Let me tell you why.
No, we don't.
It's not. Wait, I think everybody in basketball understand that's a one-off. Doesn't happen very often.
Not every.
I never buy
that. That being said, the reason why we feel this way is because of you.
What?
Wow.
Because all you talk about, we went to the finals last year, we can do it from the play-in again. Like it's just a normal thing.
You know what I don't like about you guys? You're two cowards, is what you are.
Wait,
because
what is it?
You can't stomach when it doesn't work out for you. You're so afraid of putting yourself out there. This
has nothing to do with that.
It definitely does.
This has to do with I'm not going to take an anomaly and make it a norm.
I'm very proud of you for powering through that because it seemed like it caught you up. Like it seemed like you were about to buckle at the knees and watch Third Strike, but somehow you fouled it off.
My tongue tried to steal. My tongue tried to steal second while I was saying it. I'm like,
Mixed Bag is next.